What is up, darting world? It is so good to be looking at you. Wow, I don't even know where to begin. This is so exciting for me to be back on. We're going to talk about darts, of course. That's really what we're here to talk about. But we're going to talk about World Championships. I had an incredible opportunity to interview Ray and Ky Smith, the first father-son duo compilation organization, whatever you want to call it, that's actually going to World Championships to play. So that was kind of fun and exciting. Got to interview them a little over a week ago. So I'll be playing that for you here. We're going to see my picks for World Championship. And I'll show you where you can get in on the action on that and kind of pick your own picks and see how you do. What else are we going to do? We're just going to talk about a bunch of stuff here in regards to the darting world. I'm just happy to be back and chatting with everybody. I know the background and everything, nothing looks totally different. And I'll explain that as well. But first off, I want to thank my sponsors, the most incredible sponsors in the world, of course, Shot Darts. Oh my gosh, do they come through in a big way consistently? They actually hooked me up with Ray and Ky. They are both shot players, and I got a call from Emma, and she was like, hey, do you want to interview these guys? They both just qualified for the World Championship, first father-son, to do that same year. And I was like, yeah, that'd be awesome. And I just super thankful to be working with Shot Darts. If you've not heard of Shot Darts, you must be living under a rock. But you should need to check them out, shotdarts.com. Incredible stuff. I just got a package in. If you saw that video, Dylan helped me open that up. That came in this weekend. Going to be doing reviews today of that product. I've got a ton of stuff blocked out today and tomorrow to review. Stuff I should have done a while ago. But I just look for a bunch of reviews coming between now and the end of the year from me on just some really cool product that's out there for the darts community. Yeah, really cool stuff. So just be looking for that. Let's see what else we got going on. What's going on, guys? What's up, Larry? What's up, Scottish lad? Bigfoot, what's up? Your Bigfoot toys back there. It's right there. You can kind of see it. Ooh. Anyway, I look at that all the time. So thank you for that. Man, been loving watching Roy and the boys playing, and of course Scottish lads putting out videos like crazy. Really good stuff over there, so check that out. But I am excited to get into all this dart stuff with you guys, let you guys know what's going on with us. So I got a little bit of an update as to what's going on with Atomic Darts, Coffee and Darts, and then us as a family. And that really triggers a lot of stuff that's going on within what I've got going here. The hat, if you guys check, I can do a camera. I can. That right there. So this, that's actually kind of the guy that's on the B-52 box, or, it was a guy that was going to be on the box. I don't remember, but the gentleman that designed our box and that used to do, his name's Gavin. He used to do a lot of artwork for Shot Darts. He's moved on. He's doing some other stuff. I've been trying to talk him into doing NFTs with some of his work because it's amazing. If you want to look at what he's got going on out there, go to Dart Artsy, and I'll put it in a link down below when I'm done here on Instagram. You can see all his artwork. But I've got this image and a couple other images that he did for me that'll be part of the relaunch once that happens. So some cool stuff going on there. So going on there, Mr. Holman. It's good to see you, man. Oh, by the way, I am wearing flip-flops even though it's December. Sorry. That's the way it rolls. I got to mention, of course, Magic Wear Gen Mounts. They sent me this incredible jersey. This thing is awesome. It's the Ugly Sweater Darts jersey. Didn't even know it was coming. Just opened it up one day and I was like, wow, it's pretty awesome. So thank you, Jen, and of course the crew over at Magic Wear and A to Z Darts. Just phenomenal people as well. If you need darts, A to Z Darts, of course, is a great place to go get some darts. And if you need jerseys, more importantly, Magic Wear and Jen and what she does is incredible. So check that out. Yeah, so those are my two main sponsors going on right now. Hopefully we'll be picking up some sponsors when we relaunch, but we'll see what happens there. Also want to give a quick shout out to CDC and Championship Dart Circuit. Those guys, again, really just good darts people here in America, putting it together for those here in America and Canada. Can't forget the North Canadians because we love them as well. We definitely have some players that are going to be playing in the World Championship. And again, we're going to go over my bracket here in a second. You're going to notice that I think some of those players are going to do well. in this particular tournament. See, they've got really neat stuff going on. I'm going to send you guys, or I'll post a link. I know Anthony from Championship Darts just did a video, because there's a little bit of confusion going on with some of the tournaments, because there's darts players USA, darts players New York, darts players LA. I think there's a darts players Florida, and all these different things, and they're trying to get their tournaments together. There's been a lot of questions. So I just watched the video this morning. I will get that out to everybody. So those that are playing with that or want to understand it, it'll be there. So look for that. And then I may do another special video that talks a little bit about that. I will probably pull out another video, because I'm like feeling really good. I'm probably going to have to do at least one more video in regards to the World Championship. We will see how that plays out. I should have some time. And again, I'll explain here in a sec. Oh, all right. There we go. Swallowed that. Sorry. Where was I? Okay. Oh, and I got to do a quick shout out for Mr. Van Dugen. If you guys are not familiar with him and his darting abilities, he is just coming on like crazy. But he is a Dutchman, and I got to give a huge shout out to Max Verstappen, who is the F1 world champion, the fastest man on the planet. Just an incredible drive this past weekend. Great race, and I know that the Dutch Army, the Orange Army, is super, super excited and happy about that win. Yes, the Dutch Dragon, the man, the myth, the legend himself. I know he was thrilled to see another Dutchman win a world championship. If you didn't know, I love F1, and I watch every single race right there at 5 o'clock in the morning on Sundays when those races run. Dylan and I are sitting there watching F1, so we're big fans of that as well. All right, let's get into some dart stuff and what's going on with us. So just a quick rundown. I've been playing with some programs that I used to use now have a lot of the stuff that I wanted them to have, to allow me to do like double cameras, like where I could be looking at you guys and go ding, and then have another camera right here, but it looks like I'm looking right at you. Those options are now available, and I figured out how to make them work, plus a number of other things that have been added to the software that I use to stream and to do these videos. I was buying a software that would allow me to do all that. I'm glad I didn't purchase it, because the one that I currently use actually has a lot of that. So it's going to make things a little bit nicer and better. I've come up with some new things, tricks I'm going to try with doing reviews starting today. When I'm done here, we're going to do some reviews. And so that's kind of some of the stuff that's going on. Been trying to work on some other things at the same time in regards to, and I know I've thrown this out, that my family may be leaving the crappy state of California. The reality is we're probably at a 97% that we are leaving. We've kind of picked an area of the country that we want to move to. We are, I think, and I got to double check with my wife, but as far as I know, we're actually putting our house on the market next month, and we're going to see what happens there. And I know that here it'll sell in a week. We've got some stipulations. We're going to stay here till the kids are out of school. So we're going to see how this plays out. But I think the reality is we're going to be moving outside of Knoxville, Tennessee, Maryville, potentially. We just found out that another family moved there that we're not too keen on. So we're like, oh, crap, we should have moved first. But there's a very good chance that that's where we're moving, is to right outside Knoxville area. Smith & Wesson just moved there. I mean, they're there. Why not move there? No, I have some potential job opportunities out there as well. That's one of the big things, is I've got to find a reasonable job. I don't know that I'm going to do real estate out there. I may do loans, become a lender. I just took a course with Peter from the Championship Darts. He actually has a school where he educates people and does all the class work and all the education that you need to for real estate agents and lenders. And I just took his course last week and I passed. So I may be getting that, and that might be something, but I've got some other potential job options and looking for something, but that's where we're looking to potentially move. So I'll be close to West Virginia, so I can go see some guys there. I'll be close to Missouri. My mom lives in Missouri, and go over there. So I think it'll be kind of cool to be closer to everybody. It'll actually help this program, I think, in a little ways, because I'll be more in a better time zone, as well as working with the guys at Championship Dart Circuit. They all live out that direction. Plus, from a time perspective and getting to tournaments, because most of them happen on the East Coast, it'll allow me that opportunity to actually go do some commentary and go hang out and just get to tournaments and play in some tournaments. So looking forward to all of that. I'll keep you guys abreast to what's going on in regards to that. But that's kind of where we're at right now. It's not 100%. It'll be 100% once the house sells. I mean, there's no getting back on that. Once we're in contract, it's a done deal. But I will let you guys know if anything changes. You know, like if $1 million drops on my lap, I don't know. Maybe we'll stay. We do have family and friends out here. My parents are out here. Cindy's parents are out here. So it does make it a little bit tough. But the reality of getting out of the state and going and hanging out where it's nice and green and luscious and people are people again, and our kids can grow up someplace where there's just not as many issues is a big thing for us. Yeah. And then there's the whole COVID nightmare that goes on, and I don't need to get into that. So, all right, let's get back into some darts. What's up there, Roy? And patrons. You may have all noticed that I refunded all my patrons this month. So we basically, I just felt like I wasn't doing any of this or doing really much. So I didn't feel like it was right to take your guys' monies. So I went ahead and refunded everybody, and I kind of put it on hold until we relaunch. I just don't think it's right. I had some of you reach out and say, hey, just don't worry about it. Go ahead and keep it, use it to do whatever you're doing here to come back. But again, it's just not my way. But I am pulling a name for that. Dylan was supposed to help me out with that. And I've got some giveaway stuff that I'm going to send someone, and I will let you guys all know who won that. And what what you want. It's going to be darts. It's going to be some of the shot stuff that I've been sent. I have a really cool case. It's a Kyle Anderson case that I might throw in there. Just you guys that have been patrons, just look for that, and I'll reach out to you guys. Excuse me. Speaking of Kyle Anderson, I think we should take a moment real quick to just remember those that we lost in the darts community this past year. The likes of Kyle Anderson, and there were a number of players here in the U.S. that were a part of, whether it was DP, Darts Players New York, Darts Players LA, and so forth. There have been people that have been in this community, the darts community, which here in America, if you think about it, it's really 40 years old in respect. It's a little older than that, but really kind of being in the public eye, that's kind of it. So we're seeing some people that helped bring this sport here in the U.S. to life, give it breath. It's just that kind of that changeover situation where people are starting to pass or leave or walk away from the game because they need to, just for health reasons or just age reasons or family reasons. So we need to fill those spots. So that's kind of a cry, like, hey, if you could help with a league, that's cool. But I just want to, just take that second here real quick and just remember those that we lost this year that were part of the darts community. So I'm going to go quiet for a second, and that's in respect for them. Okay. So real quick, let's get into the bracket for the World Championships. And I know I did miss, and I wanted to comment on, and you'll hear it in my interview with Ray and Ky in regards to any squeaky boards out there, Adrian Lewis and Peter Wright. I almost hopped on when that happened. I thought that was classic. You'll hear, I interviewed those guys right after that tournament. So you'll hear us talk a little bit about it, but let's hope there's no squeaky boards at the Alley Pally. All right, let's jump into this. I'm going to share my screen here. And I might pull myself. Here, is audio back? Sorry, I guess I can't take myself out. Audio dies. That sucks. All right, so I'm back. So, hey, this is my prediction list. If you're curious as to where this came from, this is from Sharon and Dart Brokers. They put this together, and so that we could pick who we think is going to make it to and become champion. So if you haven't seen this, I just dropped a link. Hopefully that link works. If not, I'll drop links in all the perspective social spots to get this. Barb getting pulled away at work. Okay. So anyway, this is brought to us by Sharon and Dart Brokers and Jason and Dart Brokers. This I thought was really cool when I saw this. But I'm just going to run through my picks for first round. And there are some that if you guys may be able to help me tweak because I do have some questions on some of them. I have Gerwin Price going back to back. I think he's got the game right now and the desire to win. I know there's a number of people out there that are talking about Van Gerwen. I don't think, and I've said this for the last couple of years, I think he's just much more of a family man now. I think that's his kind of pick. That's where he's at, and there's nothing wrong with it. I, again, think he's going to hang around and do some play, but I think in a couple years he'll come back and be on fire and come after it. Just my opinion. So starting off, we had Richie Edhouse. I got Richie Edhouse getting through on that one. I think that's pretty. The Steve Beaton, Fallon Sherrock. Of course, this is what everybody's going to be talking about. I have Fallon winning, and I think the Bronze Adonis is phenomenal. Just an incredible guy. But I think Fallon just got too much for him. And I really do think Steve Beaton's getting a little googly-eyed. The Bronze Adonis, a girl around him. You know how that works. Adonises always get googly-eyed when there's girls around. So I think Fallon gets through. I actually have Fallon getting past Kim Hybricks and getting on to Gerwin Price where she will lose. And then I had the Smiths of Jeff Smith and Ross Smith. I had to flip a coin on this one, to be very honest. Ross Smith has been playing well lately. Jeff Smith has he has the capability and the ability to certainly do well. I think his travels weren't as bad this time. I think that's been a problem for him this year. It's just the traveling in and out of Canada has been such a nightmare. It plays on your mental and physical. So I think Jeff Smith gets through, and then I think he takes Stephen Bunting. Stephen did really well last year. I have my opinions as to why he did well last year, but since then it's been so-so season and not really great near the end of the season. So I think Jeff Smith actually gets through into round 4 there to Mr. Dirk Van Dijvenbode around 3, and where he'll lose there. So that's my pick. What do you guys think? So I think we do have to come up with some kind of bet here. Matt Campbell, speaking of you, I've got you going deep into this tournament, man. I just want you to know that. I've picked you to go deep into this tournament. In regards to Roy, we do have to come up with a bet for the title match. We are going to have to do that. I'm sorry. I don't have Daryl Gurney going that far into this tournament. We will have to come up with something because seeing you in a dress last time, was it a tutu or whatever? Just dressed up as a nice little girl. Was exciting, I have to say. So I'm hoping to see that again this year. So we will come up with some kind of bet and we will let everybody know. Yes, Matt Campbell. Here, let's drop down to Mr. Campbell and see what I've got going on here. I've got him taking Adrian Lewis. I think you just bring a little clicker or a squeaker and you're good to go. Sorry. I just don't think Adrian's just not Adrian these days. And I think Matt, I really think that you get past that one. And I have you getting past Gary Anderson. As much as I love Gary Anderson, the Flying Scotsman, and a good player he is, I think he and Adrian Lewis just don't. There's a heart situation there. There's a desire situation. And Matt, I honestly believe you've got much more desire and heart. And then honestly, I've got you getting past Ian White. I think Ian White's going to beat Scott Mitchell and get to the next round. But as we all know, Ian White just doesn't do well when it comes to stage play. There's going to be people there this year. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be rocking. And I just don't think so. So I got you going up against Rob Cross. And unfortunately, I have Rob beating you. That's just my pick. I think Rob's right now playing at a much higher level than anybody's talking about or seeing. If you look at his numbers and his averages, he is on par to go deep into this tournament. So there's my picks for you, Mr. Campbell. Please see what you can do in regards to correcting me and going all the way and getting that trophy. So that is my hope and desire for anybody that plays in the PDC or in the CDC, is to see them hold that trophy up. But I think you, my friend, go deep into this tournament. So back to some of my picks. I had to do that just because you were on. So we have Jeff Smith getting into second round. And then I had Jeremy Wadimina and Boris Koltsov. I think Boris actually wins that. I know a lot of people did not pick him to win that. I think he's got the game from what I've been watching. He's going to get to the second round where he's going to come up against Diven Bode and lose, bottom line. Then I have Keen Barry getting into the next round, going up against Johnny Clayton. And I have Johnny Clayton getting deep into this. He and Gerwin Price are going to meet up, and Gerwin Price is going to take that. Then Louie Williams. This is a young kid. I don't know if you guys have watched much about Louie Williams. Young man, I interviewed him a little over a year ago. He had just signed with Target, and he has been doing really, really well this year, playing very well, getting deeper into tournaments than anybody thought. I think he definitely gets past round one. I have him getting past Gabriel Clemens in round two. I think Gabriel's just a little off. I think there's some mental issues there. He just hasn't been playing as well as he did last year and the beginning of this year. It's just not there for him. And I think Louie Williams just has the game. He's a young man, early 20s, but I think he's got what it takes to get deeper into this tournament than anybody thinks. So I've got him going further. Then we have the Ron Mellencamp against Lisa Ashton. I could talk about this for a while. I'm not going to. I think Ron gets past Lisa. And I love Lisa, and I know I'm going to probably irritate some people with this one. I think there's a mental hurdle for her. And this comes back to that. The idea that women shouldn't beat men in darts. Men should always beat women. And I think that was drilled for so long in that, we saw Fallon do it and we're all Fallon. But I think so many of the ladies that are playing the sport it's been ingrained in them. It's kind of like the elephant situation. You know how they keep elephants tied down or not running away or trampling through a village? They tie them to a little spike, like literally like a little itty bitty thing that's like they could easily rip it out of the ground. What they do is they train them when they're younger, and I'm sure you guys have all heard this, but they train them when they're younger. They tie them to something they can't pull out, and eventually it breaks their spirit. And I kind of think that's what's happened in women's darts. And I don't want to get too big into this, go too far with it, but I think that's kind of part of the deal. And that's why we're seeing, but we've got this younger female talent that's like, was never tied to a tree. Like, there's no reason I can't beat you guys. Oh, by the way, I'm beating you guys, and I'm going deep into tournaments. I'm getting to finals. And I think we see this younger generation of ladies come around and start really competing with men. So there you go. That's my take on that one. So unfortunately, I think Lisa does not do that. And then I think Michael Smith gets past Ron, of course, Ron Mellencamp. I think Michael Smith, I wanted to put him going to the finals. I just don't see it, unfortunately. I think he gets to William O'Connor. He gets past William O'Connor, and then he comes up against Johnny Clayton. And I think Clayton's got his number. So my next one, which was the William O'Connor, Danny Lowe, I really am not sure. William has, he's played on the stage situation where Danny hasn't played as much. That was one of my key factors on picking him. Danny's got great game and he's got great pace, which is probably going to mess with Mr. O'Connor. He's not as fast a player, but we'll see how that plays for Danny if he's doing the itchy thing where he kind of, if you watch him and he plays a slower player, he kind of dances around a little. He wants to get to the board and play. So I think this is going to be a great experience for him. I had to flip a coin on this one, and it landed with William O'Connor, and then I just kind of ran him through because I don't think Glenn Durant. Sorry, I just don't think he's mentally there at this point. I think next year he could be. He hasn't played for a little while, so we'll see how that plays out. Let's see, and then we've got the Ky Smith, who I got to speak with. Very interesting young man, going up against Mike Havenhoven. I think it's Mike is how you pronounce that. I got Ky winning that. After talking with him and listening to some other people talk about his game, I think he gets past that and he gets on to James Wade, who I think James Wade goes deep into this tournament. Wade is always my black horse. He's my dark knight that I think will win any tournament he ever gets into. He just has that game. Then we get into Adam Hunt and Boris. I think Adam Hunt wins that. Comes up against Vincent van der Voort, and I think Adam actually takes that. So I have him getting to James Wade deep into the tournament. Then we get to Teddy Evans, who I've got winning that, coming up as Joel Cullen, and I think Cullen gets Teddy at that point. And then the next one? Cleanmaker, I think is just a better player in regards to that. So let's go. Who had to throw in the let's go, Brandon? This is not a political arena in any way, shape, or form. I have my thoughts and stuff on that, but come on, guys. Then we've got Steve Lennon, and I got Steve Lennon coming up against Rotowski, and I got Rotowski going deep into this tournament. He could also be a dark horse to do this, just the way he plays. Rasmus has been playing well, but I think Lennon gets that one. And then I got Ryan Joyce. Ryan Joyce taking that one, the next one there. And then I really don't know a whole lot about Ryan Mikkel and Fabian. I don't know much about them. I didn't see much online about them. Didn't do a lot of research. I picked Ryan just because that's what everybody else is picking, to be honest. He comes against Peter Wright. Now, here's the interesting thing about second rounders. As we know, you get these star players that come in that are expected to win second round matches, but they haven't been on the stage. And we see them falter. We see them struggle. There are going to be some upsets for sure in regards to this. And it's going to be very interesting to see. Peter has always struggled in that second round. You know, he gets there, he puts on the show, he does the thing. That could be a situation where there's an upset. I'm just saying. And I'm a huge Peter fan. Next, we got Woodhouse against Wilson, and Woodhouse takes that. That's not even, for me, that's not even a brainer. Brooks and Boland. Who did I put into that one? I put William in there. I think he's got that one. Let's get down in here a little bit more. Jason and Gordon. I don't know much about them, so I just went with Jason because he's ranked higher. Then we get the Jason Lowe against Daniel Larson. This was a hard pick. I know Daniel's playing really well right now. He's been putting in the work. Jason Lowe just he comes from out of nowhere to do well in tournaments that you're like, wow. He's not flashy. He's just kind of the regular guy that is kind of how he comes across. But he's a great darts player. He's done well in some major tournaments this past year. I just think that Daniel Larson, based on how he's playing lately, gets this one done and gets into round two. Also a shot player. But hopefully, I just think that's going to be a little bit of an upset there. And then the Alan Sauter, I think, gets past and gets on to Menser, which that one I had to flip a coin for, and Menser won on the coin flip out of that one. Menser doesn't always do well in this tournament. Paul Lim against Joe Morning. I picked Joe. I think Paul's great. I would love to see him get past this, but I think Joe's just got a little bit more game in him. And then Calendar Aids, I've got him going fairly deep into this tournament. I've got him getting the third round against Nathan Aspinall. He's been playing really, really well of late, and I think he's definitely got so Yuki Yamamata. This is again one that's kind of tough Because if Yuki comes in playing, and he's an incredible darts player, out of the Asian PDC tour, just a really good darts player, and I really do see that being a much tighter match. But I think Callan just has the game and the experience in the PDC over in Europe, and I think he takes that. Here was another interesting one for me. Was where'd it go? The Barstow against John Norman Jr. So John Norman Jr. is coming out of the CDC. He's got that against Chaz Barstow. And I know there was a change-up. I heard about it yesterday. I just don't remember who it was. It wasn't this one, but there's another match, and I may have already gone past that one where there was a change-up. Someone dropped out and someone took their place. I have John Norman getting past this and getting to MVG. He's not really supposed to, per what everybody's saying. I think he's got a lot more game than anybody realizes. And of course, I've been able to watch him play more. I see a lot of our CDC players or people coming out of the CDC going deeper into this tournament than I think a lot of people expect. I have John getting past, and then MVG is gonna do what MVG does there. Or being that it's round 2, this is another one where we could see an upset with MVG. He tends to struggle in that second round. Again, I don't know what it is. Some of the star players tend to struggle in that second round. I know, Gerwin Price, same thing. Loves to struggle with those early rounds. So we'll see on that one. Jake Rodriguez, I think just that's an easy. And then Chris Dobie. I think Chris Dobie takes it when they get in the second round. Then we have Labanauskas. I think he takes that. I think he takes Dave Chizzy. I think Chizzy's out. That's a definite upset right there. Labanauskas, I've got getting deep into this tournament. He's just really a good player. Has great dart control. So John Rodriguez against Nick Kenny. I've got Rodriguez getting past there. Then it's the Adrian Lewis, Matt Campbell, which I spoke about a little bit earlier. I'll go back down. Yes, thank you, Quentin, in regards to the withdrawal. I have Mr. Campbell, who I think has gained a lot of experience on the bigger stages this year. I have him going deep into this tournament. He was there last year. He's been able to play, PDC darts. He's showing what he can do, and I've got him winning this against Adrian Lewis. I've got him beating Gary Anderson. I love Lewis and I love Anderson. Both past champions, multi-champions. They both have won twice. 2-time world champions. Gary Anderson going back to back. I just don't. I think they're both kind of have peaked. I think they're at the end of their game, especially with Gary Anderson. I don't see him playing much longer. I could see him saying next year is my last year and having that, penultimate fun year where everybody's like, hey, the Flying Scotsman's out the door. Let's give him a farewell. And I think it would be smart to do that. Be a good time to do that. So I think Campbell gets into, I really think Campbell gets all the way to meeting up with Rob Cross down the road. I just see that happening. Campbell's definitely got the game, and he's got the heart and experience now. So hopefully we'll see that. All right. I want to get into this interview. So let's whip through this real quick, and then I'm going to get into the interview that I had with the Smiths. So after Matt Campbell, Scott Mitchell, I think, goes that up against Ian White. Ian White wins. And then RVB, definitely, I think that's a no-brainer. Gets into I say that, but we've seen him lose in first round before. I think he gets second round, but I think Rob Cross just got too much game. And then we have Ricky Evans. I think Ricky gets into Daryl Gurney. And Roy, I think Daryl Gurney does win that one against Ricky Evans, but I think he comes up against Rob Cross and loses that. So, again, we need to put a bet on the deal. I have Gerwin Price, again, winning this. So, there you go. Those are my picks. They're out there. You guys can go do this pick as well and see who you think is going to win it. See how well you compare to myself and to others. Again, thanks to Sharon and Jason over at Dart Brokers for putting this together. Link was in the comments, but you can find it there. And of course, it's on their social medias. Facebook is where I saw it. So, cool. So we got that. Let's get into this interview. I did record this. A week ago or so. So there'll be some comments that are a little bit old in this, but I thought it was just a really good, fun interview, getting the opportunity to talk to Raymond. So Ray's been around the world for a while. He's played in the World Championship. He coaches darts. He's actually putting out a cool video series with Shot on coaching. So that's in the works. It's not completed yet, but they've gotten pretty far into that. Ky, his son, is in himself a really good darts player. And so you'll get to hear all of that and some things. Here's the one thing that caught me off guard, and I'll talk a little bit about it in the interview, is kind of, and I think this is a good thing as I think about it, they're both kind of nonchalant. I think Ray is a little more excited at the fact that the two of them are going to the World Championships to play for that. I know, like, Ky's been there before, but not as a player for lifting, the World Champion. I mean, everybody there has that opportunity to get to the end and lift that trophy. I think Raymond kind of understands that a little bit more. I don't know. Ky's just very like, what's up? And so I found that very interesting. I would personally be a little bit more excited about it, but I think the mentality that they have going a couple of weeks prior to play was pretty good. I think that's what's going to help them get past first round. Good morning, Anthony. Speaking of which, I mentioned this earlier, and I want to bring it up since Anthony's on here. Anthony did a video just recently in regards to some of the questions that everybody has about Darts Players New York, Darts Players LA, Darts Players this, Darts Players that, Darts Players USA, in regards to tournaments and things that are happening with them. Check that video out. I will post it on the Atomic Darts Facebook page as well, so that you guys can get some information as to the questions to ask and where to get answers in regards to tournaments and things that are happening with all the darts player stuff here in America. Thanks for digging the jersey. This is from, of course, Jennifer Mounts and Magic Wear. They just sent it to me. It's pretty awesome. So if you want one, you might have to ask them because I don't think they're selling them. All right, let's get into this interview. Again, great interview with Ky and Raymond Smith. And let me pull this up. Hey everyone! Again, thank you so much for watching this special edition of Coffee and Darts. Next up, I'm bringing on the most incredible duo to ever hit William Hill World Championship, getting to the Alley Pally. It is a father-son team of sorts, so we're excited to have them here. It is Ray and Ky Smith. Hey, Ray, welcome to the show. Ky, welcome to the show. Glad to have you guys on.
Yeah,
thanks for having me.
Yeah, so you guys are the first father-son couple, duo, so to speak, to make it to the Alley Pally for the World Championships. And you guys did it back-to-back. Like one day, Ky, you had it. Ray, the next day you had it. What was the feeling like when you both realized that you guys had made it?
From my side, it was relief. So yeah, it was a bit of a concerning factor on Saturday when Ky won. I think a few of us were frantically trying to make sure Ky got there and was looked after and all that sort of stuff. So we're trying to do all the planning. And then I think we got to about an hour after the event where we thought, well, let's sit back and have a think about it. We'll get through tomorrow and then make a plan from there. So fortunately, the plan worked out.
Yeah. Yeah, Dad gets to pay for everything and Ky gets to ride along. So that's a good one. I think it's an exciting thing that you guys get to go. I know, Ray, you went to the Alley Pally a couple years back. That was the 2018-19 World Championships. So you've had some experience being there and being a player there. Have you and Ky talked at all about kind of what to expect when showing up there?
A little bit.
Yeah, well, I haven't really tried to fill his head with too much. Trying to just focus on the darts, let the darts take care of themselves. On the flight, we'll probably discuss a few things, but I mean, it's a tournament. It's no real difference. But I've just told him the difference between the practice room, then up to the preparation room, and then where you stand before you head out to the race and all that sort of stuff. So just the things that are going to impact on the day, but everything else, no.
Ky, what's your thoughts being you're 19, I believe, and
Yep.
you're heading off to the Alley Pally with your dad, and it's not just to watch or to hang out, but it's to actually play, up on that stage. I mean, some excitement. How are you feeling about that?
To be honest, I was definitely relieved when I saw him win Sunday, because it wasn't going over with just anybody who could be carrying on. So to have him there who's had the experience and who knows how to handle it makes it so much easier, makes it more enjoyable, except for him snoring at the hotel room.
Should be exciting. I mean, I've never had an opportunity to go to that particular tournament. I've been to others here in the States and gotten to meet some of the pros that I idolize, or that my family idolizes, especially. I would say, Ky, going to this particular event where there are going to be certainly players that you have watched over the years. Any excitement with that? Any excitement of someone that you kind of maybe get to hang out with in the practice room that you haven't been able to meet before?
I wouldn't mind meeting the Welsh pair, because both good players. Dad's met Gerwin before, saying he's a nice guy, etc. One person I am looking forward to catching up with would be Dimitri Vandenberg, after I met him in 2019.
Yes. Chance, are you gonna get some moves from him? Is that you guys gonna bust something out when you get on the stage?
He'll probably throw my hip out if I tried copying.
Probably might break a knee. Could happen. So what about for you, Ray? I know you've played against a number of the players that are there. And this is a question. I would assume that the Heat, you guys would probably know each other. Maybe played against each other at some point. But is there anybody that you're kind of looking forward to that maybe you haven't bumped elbows with or talked to, that you get to see?
No, I'm always keen to catch up with Jeff Smith. He's a cracking guy. But yeah, no, I sort of get along with all of them. I'm pretty keen to catch up with a few friends, as you said, with Damon, because him and I come from the same stable with Team Misfits. So I'll be keen to catch up with him. And as Ky said, when Dimitri come out here for the Pro Tour events, we had a lot of fun there. So it would be really good to catch up with everyone, I suppose.
Yeah, I think it'd be a lot of fun. I don't know how much travel you guys have gotten in, especially with the lockdown and what we've gone with over the last basically 2 years of life. And I know for Australia and New Zealand and just that area of the world, the lockdown has hit a little bit harder. I know for Jeff Smith out of Canada, it's been a little bit of a trouble getting in and out. It's taken him weeks to go to a tournament for one day. So I don't know how much you guys have traveled, but I'm sure it'll be exciting to get to see some of the darts players you haven't been able to see in a while. Damon Hedda, he's moved over to Europe. Ky, I know you just signed with Shot, and you're 19, so you're still young, but any aspirations to maybe make that move at some point?
We've had a little discussion about it from time to time, the question of what if and etc. But I'm thinking if I was to try, I might just do it for the experience, and maybe a few years down the track when I've got a bit more under my belt and a bit more stability financially, I might consider having another crack.
To kind of take us through the understanding that you're both going to get to go and play at the World Championships, not just go there.
Yeah, I think it was about a week or so after, because I didn't know what was going to happen with work and what have you. So I went and spoke to them, and they were 100% behind me. So it kind of sort of didn't hit for a week later that we'll both go on. But as soon as we knew we were both going, it was for me it was really, really exciting. It was kind of sort of we're going to be a part of a little bit of history, but at the same time, it's Ky's first time, and I don't have to worry about the whole mental factor. I don't have to worry about anyone trying to fill his head with rubbish or what have you. So it was more relief for me, but really, really excited for Ky.
Ky, what's your thought about getting an opportunity to go play at the World Championship?
Honestly, it's not my first World Championships, but it's my first World Championships outside of the under-18s and in long set format. But I'm more than definitely looking forward to it. And yeah.
Well, I mean, when you think about it, you both have an opportunity to raise that trophy. You both have an opportunity to be number one in the world. And there's only a certain number of darts players in the world that are given that opportunity each year. And you guys both have that opportunity. Do either of you feel like that's something? I mean, are you going there with that intent to say, "Hey, I'm going to go through and I'm gonna raise that trophy"?
Yeah, for myself this time, like I've had a few tournaments since we qualified, and the practice is going really, really well. Mindset's going really, really well. We did a singles tournament the other day. I think it averaged 96.8 for the whole day, and in the final series, it averaged over 100. So, yeah, I don't see myself going there to make up the numbers.
And it's a great mentality point to have. I've talked to some players that go with the intent of, I just want to get to second round. As long as I make to second round, I've accomplished what I want to do. But I know, in sports psychology, that if you're not going with the mentality that, you know what, that trophy's mine, I just need to get these people out of my way. It's almost like, why go? Why have the goal to just get to third round? I made second round last time. This time I want to get to third round. It's like, I want the trophy, man. I want to win. So
yeah, well, the last time that I went there, I booked from 2 weeks before until the day after the tournament. So even though I went out in the first round, it wasn't my intent. I went there. I booked the whole time, like the hotel, the flights, and everything. So yeah, I was going there with the intent to win.
It's a great mindset to have, because anybody can win. You just got to play the darts. You got to play the dartboard. You got to play yourself mentally. And we saw that this past week. I don't know if you guys saw the Players Championship, and of course what happened with Peter Wright and Adrian Lewis. And not to bring up any squeaky issues, but for me, that was much more of a mental issue than it was a squeaky board. Now the Alley Pally, again, being this is the pinnacle of darts. This is the pinnacle of our sport. It's what people aspire to go play at, but also to just go watch. Are you guys excited about some of that aspect? I guess, Ky, it would be more for you, going as a player with the opportunity to again win the world championship. But does that feel different this time, or are you excited about it in any different way?
It won't feel any different, because 90% of the venues you play at, even if it's local, you're going to have people who are going to cause a scene, make some noise. It's all really second nature. It's more, it's good for every here and there when you hit a good shot, but other than that, block it out.
Yeah. Ky, you just seem really calm about this. It's like, I'm just going to the World Championship. I'm going to take my trophy home, go home, and then I'm going to hit the beach. It's going to be good.
I got my excitement out as early as I could.
There you go. It's a good move. It's something good. So, Dad, I know that you do a lot of coaching. I would assume that you've coached Ky quite a bit. What's it like being dad of Ky?
Frustrating.
Can't agree.
You still got I like to think of myself as a fairly decent coach, not just from the technical aspects, but from the mental aspects as well. But father and son relationships, isn't it? And a coach slash, it's taken him some time to pick up some things, but his other things he's picked up really well. But it can be frustrating, but at the same time, events like this, it's infinitely rewarding as well.
Ky, what about Dad being coach? What's that like?
Honestly, it's not that bad, but at times it has been a bit relentless. It's more like just having that monkey on your shoulder. But I personally wouldn't have it any other way. It's helped me a lot mentally, physically. But both going as players, knowing even if I throw not my greatest or I throw my absolute best, he's going to be in the crowds and say, well done. So I couldn't ask for anything more or less. I'm happy with it.
I'm kind of curious about signing with Shot. So I know that's a new thing for you, Ky, as far as signing with them. You were young guns though, correct?
Yes, I was with Shot from 2017 on to 2020 when being returning. I was allowed to play as a young gun up to the age of 18, but unfortunately COVID said no. So I went pretty much a year and pretty much a year without being a sponsored player, which didn't bother me because no expectation. I didn't have to perform for anybody but myself. But to win the Oceanic and have them come and say that they'd like to have me on board, as well as a few days later, them talking with the team at L-Style, who I was using the flights and sems with in that tournament, and for about 5 odd months prior to say that they wanted me on board as well. It made everything a lot easier because I was running through 3 or 4 sets every here and there, just struggling to hold a decent set.
Yeah, those ancillary product pieces that go to your darts can add up when replacing them regularly. I don't think people understand that. So, but now I love Shot. I'm a huge fan, been a fan for a long time. Peter's just a great guy. Emma over there and the product that they produce. I've always said it's artwork that we get to throw. It's just incredible work that they do and just a really good company. So I'm excited to see you, go from the young guns and then, get on with the team. You got to deal with that Tori girl, I don't know. She's a fireball. So
she can be a handful, but she's a cracking lad to hang out with.
Yes, she's great. She's been on the show a couple of times and she is always a blast to have. So Ray, I just wonder what it's like for you. Is it just, hey, I go and I have a great time and I enjoy what I'm watching, what I'm getting to see, the matches I get to see, or is it all I'm here to play darts and that's what it is?
No, I just love playing, so I don't really care. I love playing, I love learning. So I think in the last event we went and supported Devin Peterson when he was playing, and I just watched and learned, because Devin's got a very different technique. So I was just trying to find out things that were working for him, and he played really, really well. So it was, what works for him. And then when he played here in Australia for the Pro Tour Series, he wasn't playing that well. So I went and looked at the videos of him then. Winning's good though. Yeah,
winning's nice. Yeah, actually, I lost yesterday in my tournament, so it wasn't much fun. But it's always a blast. Out of curiosity, when it comes to coaching and coaching your son, do you guys have a particular routine? Are there like certain days of the week that that this time frame, this is what we're doing? Do you have kind of a routine of we're going to work on this particular? We're going to work on outs today for an hour. We're going to work on triples. What's that routine look like for you guys?
It's not really much of a routine. Like, we don't practice together a great deal, only when Ky sort of needs a tune up or I need a tune up, and a lot of the time it's like 1-2-1s, up by 3, down by 1. It's just combination shooting, straight darts. Making sure that no matter what we do, every dart counts. Because that's one of the things that I do in my practice sessions, is every dart has to count. So we do double. If you split your double, you got to go for bull. If you hit the bull, you go again, and all this sort of stuff. So it's just when it comes to the whole practice routine, more often than not, I'll let Ky do his own thing. We play very different games.
And Ky, for you, is there a routine that you particularly have, or do you just kind of get together with the guys and play? Or is there like a pub or someplace that you like to go and play at, or is it just at home you're hitting the board?
I'm not really the fan of the big social scenes, but on the occasion I do play a bit of around the world doubles. Sometimes a few games of cricket just to help my switching, my scoring, and sometimes a bit of practice on my Shanghai 20, especially tops, because I'm not liking that thing at the moment.
And we talked about this earlier before coming on here, but the draws are in for first rounds, and I know that happened basically while you guys were asleep because it's early morning Tuesday for you, where it's late afternoon Monday for me. But you both know who you're playing. And Ray, you had mentioned that you and your manager about 2 weeks ago said, "This is who I'm going to pick. This is who I'm playing," and you got that particular darts player. So can you tell me, like, how did that happen, and who is this person that you're going to be playing?
So my best mate, Greg Walsh, he's also the guy that looks after me. He sent me this message about two weeks ago, and he says, "Man, I had a dream that you were playing Jamie Hughes at the Ali Pally." I'm like, "No, all right." I don't know if Jamie's qualified. From last I heard, he got injured. And then, yeah, sure enough, when he told me, I just started laughing. It's like, so I messaged Greg. He's like, no way. But yeah.
So you pulled Jamie. Jamie's a good player, especially when he's on. He's definitely gotten deep into tournaments. He's very mental in the game. Like, he's there to play. Like, nothing seems to rattle him. So good luck with that one. If there's a squeaky board, you might want to jump up and down on that one, because probably the only way to rattle him. So, and then Ky, you got okay. Just do it on ability. That's the way it should be. I am going to ask you both about the mental, like getting under some people's skin, because it's known within the darts world that that's really a thing to do. It's been going on for many, many years, and it's part of sports, whether it's football or soccer, whichever way you want to call it, or American football, or even racing, like F1. I'm a big Formula One guy, and like, things that are said during the week are just designed to get under people's skin. But Ky, real quick, you're playing, was it Mark Cavenhoven?
Mike Cavenhoven.
Mike Cavenhoven. I don't know much about him. Have you had an opportunity to play him or see him play?
I've watched a few of his games. He's not the fastest of players. He's not the slowest. So it's kind of around the speed that I throw myself. So it's not going to put me off if he's quicker or slower. It's more how I prepare myself for the situation. Because Dad has said it's going to be cold out the back, and when you're on stage, it's going to be really hot. So it's more about managing that more than anything.
Now, Ky, I'm going to start with you in regards to what I just talked about, that kind of, finding a way to get under skin. I've heard of specific dart players maybe wearing a jersey that was the same color as someone they were playing against, just kind of to throw them off. We do know of a particular darts player who won 16 world championships that used to like to stand literally behind people and blow in their ear. I mean, I don't want to bring up names or anything. But do you find that maybe when you are in the practice room or something, that there's ways to kind of start to get into someone's head?
There would be probably a million ways to do it, but as some people have said, don't let your mouth do it, let your darts do the talking. And breathing down your opponent's neck, I've dealt with it multiple times. I've had players throw their dart when I'm halfway back. It doesn't bother me, because if I'm worried about them, I'm not worried about the task at hand. So the moment you let their theatrics get in your head, the moment you've lost your game.
Ray, what about for you? I mean, you again, a little bit more of a statesman in the sport. Do you find, some of the stuff that was allowed back in the day that, nowadays is frowned upon?
Yeah, look, a lot of people are still doing it here, and I have no doubt that it's still quite prevalent over in the UK, and probably will come up at some point. Yeah, look, I remember I playing the Australian final with a creaky board, and they it was inside the encroachment area, and they were just leaning on it, like not realising that somebody was filming it. You could see it, but it's not my gig. It's not my game. As I said, if I can't beat you on ability, I've got no right to beat you. If you want to start talking to me, then by all means start talking to me. It means I've got you on the ropes. But I mean, when you play for state level here, like, it's quite loud, it's quite boisterous, and in the middle of your shots and all that sort of stuff. Like, I've got a little bit of a heel at the moment that people know about, so they try and expose it. I'm just getting better at dealing with it. But as far as I'm concerned, when I play, I'm not interested in it.
My suggestion is just get two little kids to hang out with you while you're playing the game, and they scream and yell and throw things while you're doing it, and it'll just prepare you for whatever you're going to come up against. Sorry, I just bring that up because my kids do it all the time in my videos. They're always throwing things and screaming and yelling and opening the garage door and slamming doors, and it's prepared me very well for all the mental aspects of the game. So you guys both seem really kind of, I don't want to say nonchalant, but you're just like, yeah, we're going to play darts. It's my kid. That's my dad. We're going to have some fun with it. Any thoughts on the fact that technically this is a history-breaking situation, a father-son going to the alley? Like, I get excited about it because I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. You guys are going, and you're going to go do this, and you're going to play. You're you're not playing each other right off the bat, which is good. You get to play some other guys. But you guys both just seem like you're like, yeah, it's cool. But is there something more to it? Ky, really, are you excited you get to go?
I genuinely can't put it into words because the last time I played overseas, I went not by myself, but I didn't have mum and dad with me to make sure I was all right, etc., spend time with. But this time, at least I've got someone to hang out with, have a talk to, have a laugh with.
From our side, though, like it's probably one of the things that we have spoke at length about. We've got a game coming up in like 15 to 20 odd days. If we start playing the game now or get excited about all this other stuff, then we're going to take away from the focus to prepare for the game. So, yeah, there's probably not so much nonchalant, it's more focus. But
again, I appreciate you guys coming on this show and having the conversation about being the first, father-son team, even though it's not team sport, it's individual sport, but the first father-son team getting to go to the World Championship, going to play the Alley Pally together. I'm excited for you guys, and I know there are a lot of other players out there that are excited to see you guys come and play. And Ray, I wanted to just bring up real quick the coaching aspect and stuff. I know you do a blog for Shot Darts, and that's available at shotdarts.com. So that's something where people can find you in that regards. Anywhere else that people can find either of you guys to kind of help support?
No, I do a lot of stuff over social media when I can. But we've got I've started a thing with Shot. That's been a year in the making that I just haven't had time to get around to, unfortunately. But we're going to start doing a video log series, so 5-minute coaching videos. I think we've got about 32 videos prepared for the first series, which just mainly goes on technical aspects and readjusting the way to think about darts. But
add that. Hey, little technical difficulty there. Apparently that video ended a little bit sooner than it was supposed to. I apologize about that. Not sure as to why, but I will have to look into that. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed the conversation I got to have, and it was a much, much, much longer conversation. We hung out and talked quite a bit in length, and I had to just pull pieces from my conversation with the Smiths. But all in all, an incredible, just entertaining time for me. We talked a lot about some of the players that they've been able to play against, and it was just really nice to sit down with them. But as you can tell, they're very, especially Ky, is just kind of like, yeah, no big deal. Going to play the World Championship. I loved having a conversation with them and getting to chat with them about darts. And of course, Raymond is, I don't want to say a fixture around darts, but he's been around a little while and he has coached a number of different players. And so excited to see what they do when it comes to the World Championships. So, well, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this special edition of Coffee and Darts. Yes, we will be bringing Coffee and Darts back. We'll be hitting it hard in this next year. Probably do one or two more of these during the World Championships because I just got to talk about it. And I love getting to talk with you all. Y'all, I'm trying to work on my Tennessee talking. Again, there is a good chance that my family will be moving to Tennessee early next year. And that will open up or change things. It's going to change the time frame of when we do these videos, or I don't know, it might adjust it, and it may open up just some other cool aspects and things of getting to go to tournaments and kind of have some fun with Coffee and Darts and doing some interviews and the things that I really want to do with this channel. So in any case, I've got to get to doing some reviews today. I was just throwing these Druids by Shot. Like these came in, I was just throwing these and these things are incredibly awesome. So I'm excited to get into reviews for you. I got a bunch of stuff. I got to do the Grand Cam. I got to finish my review on that. That thing's pretty cool if you play Grand Board. And then I got some stuff from Viper, some cool backgrounds and other things. So that's my day today and tomorrow is to be shooting video and then start editing it. And you guys will get to see some, hopefully a slew of reviews over the next couple of weeks. hey, if I don't get an opportunity to talk to you guys personally, or if for some reason we don't do another video, just want to say Merry Christmas. Hopefully it's a good Christmas for everybody. Hopefully it's a white Christmas wherever you guys are, that whiteness happens, and that sounded really bad in this day and age. Snowy Christmas, wherever the snowiness happens, if you guys like that kind of thing. We typically just get a sunny, shiny, hot Christmas, which I'm tired of, bored with. Dynamite Dave says he's never had a bad dart from shot. They are incredibly awesome. I will say that for sure. Again, thanks everybody for watching this. Thanks for coming and checking me out again, and for the comments that have come in over the last month or so. I much appreciate them. Especially, I love the ones where you guys are like, hey, we can't wait to have you back. So that always feels good to me. I share those with Dylan as well. I'm trying to pull Dylan in to do more videos with me. I think he's kind of getting there, especially if they were about video games. But trying to work that one in, trying to get the kids involved, because I think it'd be fun for them, and I think it'd be fun for you as well, just to kind of see their opinions, especially Dylan's, and when it comes to darts, because it's kind of comical what he thinks about a particular barrel. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging in. I'm looking forward to next year. Lots of reviews, lots of interviews, and doing that stuff, and hopefully doing some stuff with the Championship Dart Circuit if I get that move put in, and being close to everybody. Merry Christmas, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your week and rest of the new year, and see you on the new year, whatever that goes. And enjoy World Championships. They start tomorrow, so check them out. Go to pdc.tv and make sure you are watching, because they do kick off tomorrow, and we'll see how I do on my bracket. See you guys.